Hello, Julie. Well, I'm running late. I had everything I thought pretty much ready to go, and then my mom called and wanted me to come over and take some of these leftovers so she wouldn't have to try to find a place in the refrigerator for them. when when Daryl went into the hospital, the church called and asked if they could bring food, and we told them to wait until they got home. That's when they would need food. Hi, Brittany. I'm glad you're here. And so since they've been home, they called and they asked us, do you want us to bring food? And we said that would be great. One meal, like every 2 or 3 days, will be plenty because you know how church people are. When they bring you a meal, they bring you more than two little bird peckers can eat because your mom and Daryl, they both eat like little birds. Um, so they've been bringing them, enough for one meal and leftovers, which I knew is what would happen. So I thought if they do it every 2 or 3 days, they can keep that eaten. But anyway, she had too much there, but they had one meal and leftovers and some in the freezer, and she still had some left, so she wanted me to take this one. So I had to go get that before I got on. Whew. Anyway, that's not a bad problem to have. I got a free food. Free food's always good, something I don't have to cook. I'm happy about that. A couple of things. Let me see if I can get this a lot better. I think that's a little bit better. A couple of things I wanted to show you. Number one, this fabric, I made a bat and I told you all I was going to spin and make a sweater. Well, I made a bat and I took little bits off of a couple of the bats to do a practice spin just to see. And this is what it turned out like. I decided I wanted my yarn to be a little bit fatter than this. Um, but this is my practice swatch. And it's looking just kind of like I hoped it would. It's shinier than it looks on the camera, but there's this is silk. There's some sorry silk. Um, but it's got little pops of different colors. It's actually way prettier than it is on the camera. I don't it's it's kind of washed out looking on the camera, so it's brighter than it looks. But is it Julie's birthday? Happy birthday, Julie. Hi, Teresa. I'm glad you're here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you. God bless you. I'm surprised I could actually sing. I've been croaky since we had COVID, but I'm doing some better now. So, um, anyway, so I've spun one single and I spun it thicker this time. So I'll get it, I'll have to spin another one and then put this together in order to make a skein of yarn. And I've got enough bats to make 8 4-ounce skeins of yarn. And that's what I'm going to spin my, crochet my sweater from. But anyway, so I wanted to show y'all that because that's a kind of a work in progress. Move it up here. Anyway, I'm going to use this as a coaster. And this is um a sweater. This is not a sweater. This is a scarf that I've been working on for a couple of years off and on with some yarn that I called quilt scraps. I just had little bits of different pieces of yarn, I mean, different fibers, and so I spun them all into one skein of yarn. And then I've been weaving it into this scarf for a good friend. So she's finally going to get it this year for Christmas. I've got to steam it. And once I steam it, it'll close up the gaps and it'll feel softer and everything. But I think it turned out really well. It's about 8 feet long, so it's a little longer than I really intended it to be. But but I'm happy with that. I think she will be too. She likes the same kind of colors I do and stuff, so I think she'll enjoy it. And so there's my they do all go together, and it wasn't like I was picking special pieces. It's just that I happen to, buy fibers that I like. But this was a bat that had that little white puffy stuff is silk noil. And the light brown is camel down. And that one, I remember that because that was a lot of fun. But I didn't have a lot of it left, and so I just took bits and pieces and put it all together. So you can make whatever kind of yarn you want. See, that's one of the blessings of spinning it yourself, that you can do whatever you want to with it. Um, I haven't done it yet, but I'll probably start this year because I keep meaning to do it and I haven't done it. So not this year, January. In January, I'll start. Where everything that you spin, you take a little bit of the fiber off of that spin before you spin it, and you put it aside in a jar or whatever. I'm going to put it in a gallon jar. And then at the end of the year, you spin all of that together to make a yarn that is your yarn for that year, which I think will be a lot of fun. But it's one of those things I've been meaning to do, but I always think of it, in March or something. And so I haven't ever actually done it. But anyway, that's that. I may go ahead and work on this a little bit too in a little while. But first, last Monday when I was on here, I was asking y'all about your journal pantry and saying that I hadn't done anything with the stuff in my journal pantry. I'll tell you while I'm just chatting here, I'm going to leave this out so there's something to look at. And so I wanted to make a journal and then decorate it out of my journal pantry, since I have made all this stuff but didn't ever do anything with this stuff. And several people said that they wanted to see what was actually in my journal pantry. And so I thought it would be a good time to go back and review all the things that Tanya and I did. I have a playlist. I'm sure Tanya does too, of all of those videos when we were working on our journal pantry. And so if you go into my playlists, it's something about journal pantry with Tanya or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but filling up our journal pantry, I'm not sure. Anyway, if y'all want to watch that, go back and look at those videos and see how we did some of the things, you can. But I thought I'd go ahead and pull that stuff out and show you what's in my journal pantry. I honestly haven't looked at it since we put it away. So, and my journal pantry is stored like in these. So what I'm going to do, and I don't even know which ones are the things we started with, which ones, I don't know. I'm just going to grab these out of here and show you what's in them. And let me just a second. Let me get something. Oh, that's annoying. Sorry about that. Let me get something to set this on so that I don't have to try to pull it up off the floor. I happen to have a little table set up in the living room. I had my spinning stuff on, so I'll just move this over here. And I actually have two of those. So here's the second one. So we'll actually start with this one just because I've picked it up second. And I'm just going to grab one and start. I thought it was a curtain at first. You thought this was a curtain? I'm not sure. Is that what you thought was a curtain? A lot of Japanese. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I pulled this one out first because it was in the front. And these are envelopes. So we made a lot of different styles of envelopes. Let's get that up out of that. This one is made out of wallpaper, and it has a little tag in it. And now I use the little tag to keep it shut. I really like that one. That's cute. See, I'm kind of seeing these again for the first time. Oh, the container with the light shine on it. Yeah. That light is atrocious. I don't like it. Okay, this one has 2 pockets. And you can do the same thing with it. You know, you can tuck something in the front pocket to hold the pocket, hold that envelope thing shut. Here's one that has 2, but they're both behind the flap. And this is just we just were making these, you know, to put in, and these aren't even really decorated much, so I could actually, you know, do some decorating on them when I use them. Here's another one, has some little tags I stuck in there. And I stuck the tags in there just to remind me that's a pocket, I think, but it also works to keep the thing shut. Here's a teeny one. So I just, you know, there's a bunch of these. Oh, that one's kind of torn. So I'll have to do something about that when I use it. Here's, I like this one. It's a short pocket, but it still looks like an envelope. That one's really pretty. And here's another one like this. Here's one that has pocket up there and some little tags in that pocket up there. And then there's some, you know, envelope. This one's the same way. It's got little top pocket with some tags in it. And this one I made out of, I scanned a piece of fabric that I found at the thrift store. I scanned it in, and that printed it off to make this one. So that's what was in that one. We only have 45 more to go. No, I'm not sure there's that many. Let's see how many are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 16 in each of these containers, but there's at least a few of them that don't have anything in them. Hi, Riri. I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you too. Now, these are pieces that I took out of when I made my Secret Garden Journal, the carved book. These were left over from that. And I just stuck them in here because this is just things that I could use anytime. So it's got all kinds of weird stuff in it. These came out of a children's book. I just stuck those in here. Here's some more liquor labels. And then here's some more stuff that came out of the Secret Garden book. Hi, Ruth. I'm so glad you're here. So good to see you. Hi, Sherry. I'm glad you're here too. Oh, I remember this. This is bitty journals, little bitty journals to put inside journals. And I made these with just little bits of paper. And they've got a little deal so you could tie them on the end of a, you know, the outside of a journal if you wanted to. See, now I'm just having fun. Look at this stuff again. And here, this one's a little bit bigger. Well, if I untie any more, I'm not going to worry about tying them back right now because that takes too much time. And here's one I made out of a jelly print. And this was an envelope somebody sent me, Happy Mail envelope. I want to say it was Janet Baum, but I'm not positive about that. It could have been any of you because a lot of people make stuff like that. But and then here's one I made a little opener like that. I like that one. It's easy to shut and easy to open. And here's one that's, pieces, this long pieces like that. That would be a good one to put little quotes in. And this one even has, page folded out. Oops, I think it's upside down. Maybe not. Nope. I just got one piece of paper upside down, I guess. Here's another one of the long ones. And there's more little bitties. I guess I don't need to open every one of these. But I'm going to. I said I wasn't going to tie it back up, didn't I? Well, I guess I lied. I'm not really usually a liar, but I lied about that. And here's another one with a little opening like this. Hey, Becky. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm just going through my old journal pantry that Tanya and I built, and I'm looking to remind myself what's in it, because I haven't looked at it since we finished it. Here's some little bit bigger journals, but it's basically the same thing as those little ones that we were looking at. These are just a little bit bigger. Some of these I was using up scraps of scrapbook paper. This is another one that's basically the same, I think. Yeah, that's all scrapbook paper. Ooh, this one's pretty. I don't remember making this. I know I did. But it's really pretty. That was a fail die cut. Here's some of my marble paper. Can you meow? Know how? Wish to know? Willow? Don't know where the rest of the paper page is, but Seeds of Joy. That was, I printed that on that paper because I was doing something with it, and I had printed several of them, and that one just got in this journal. I didn't put it on the paper specifically to go in this journal. It just happened to be something left over. Yeah, I really like that one. That one's cute. Okay. So that is that one. Are y'all getting bored yet? Because I only got, I don't know, 30 to go. Not really 30. Quite a few. Oh, see, these are things I should be using. Look at these. I even used my sewing machine, which I don't do very often. These are a combination of paper and fabric. We had so much fun filling up these boxes. I made a whole bunch of different kinds, different colors. Just a girl on a swing. There's a long one. It'd make a good belly band. Here's another one that's long like that. Here's some little just bits. You could just put a word on it and put it in the journal. This is done with, stuff that would normally get thrown away. So using up scraps was part of our plan too. I like that one. Okay, so there's those. Well, it helped us keep our sanity too, Teresa. We were all in it together, weren't we? Oh, and here's some beads. Some boho beads. Fabric and wire and beads. See, all these things should be used. There's a little one. We got more done of some things than others. Okay, there's one that's empty. So, and here are a bunch of tags punched out of, well, this was a tea can, Christmas cards. Most of these were punched out of Christmas cards. And some of them, even though they're like this, that was the back of a Christmas card. So I got all these, here ready to go. They just need to be used. There's some butterflies in there. I'm not sure why I put butterflies in there. Maybe because they were punched out. I don't know. Anyway, all different sizes. There's an itty bitty one. But I remember punching those out. That took a lot of effort punching those out of Christmas cards. It was a lot of fun. Here's another empty one. So in this box there are two that are empty. This one just has a piece that I cut out of something, and I just stuck it in there. So that wasn't part of our journal pantry. I mean, it is part of my journal pantry, but it wasn't something that we did. And these we did where we sewed on fabric and on, this is paper. They're all just little things you could, put into journals. That one's paper and fabric. And we were just kind of coming up with whatever fit the criteria of what we were doing that day. Hi, Nicola. We're glad you're here. Welcome, welcome from Wales. You're visiting me in Texas. I'm glad you're here. Or make cards. Yes, that's true. I'm just not that big of a card maker, but I should be. So I always think journals when I look at stuff like this. But these are all things that we made, and like I said, we have a whole playlist all the times we were playing with all this stuff while we were making these things. I told you I thought I could decorate a whole journal out of my journal pantry. I think it's true. What's this? Oh, see? I even have these. Now somebody sent me these. If you sent these to me, shout out yourself. And you think ATC's and cards. Yeah. We all have the things that we love. And I love cards, but I like making books. And so I always think books when I see this. I think somebody sent me these. I'm not sure because I don't think I have one of these cutters. But out. Teresa, it was you. Well, thank you, Teresa. I'm going to use them when I make my journal. I appreciate them. Oh, and these are the little pins. We made little pins. I wonder if they even still write. Where's the paper? Let's see. Yeah, there you go. But we put paper clips on them, so you could just clip them into a journal. And I didn't decorate them because I wanted to decorate them with whatever style, journal. This one's done with wallpaper, so it's kind of decorated. This one has a little tag on it, so it's sort of decorated, but it's a punch. That's what I don't have. I don't have the cutter. And this is just, okay, here's a bunch of circles. On those journals, we had the little things to wrap the cord around to shut them. Well, here I had punched a whole bunch of those things out of scrapbook paper that and then I glued them together, 2 or 3 of them together, and punched a hole in them so they're ready to use. I mean, good grief. Can't get more ready to use than that. I didn't ink them. I guess that's the only thing. Well, don't you need it, Teresa? If you were going to get rid of it anyway, I'd happily take it, but I don't want to take your punch if you can use it still. Here are some more pockets. Well, these are like library card type pockets that we decorated. Let's find here. So we put something behind the envelope window. And I left Discover on here because it worked well with the thing. Hey, Barbara. You have dies to replace it now. Well, I would love it, Teresa. Thank you. So here's another one. And we just decorated them. But the point was to, you know, use junk mail envelopes and make something pretty to go into journals. There's another one. And then I think that somebody sent me this too. I think that somebody sent me this too. Because it's all goodies that you could use to decorate. Either that or I bought it from one of Keisha's sales or something. But here's, you know, an envelope of stuff to decorate. Come on. And then here's a couple of extra envelopes to decorate with that stuff. Oh, honey, that's fine. No hurry. No hurry. So I just stuck those in there too, because you know I was going to come back and use all this stuff. I really will use it. And what's in here? Oh, little notebooks. I mean, little notepads. Scrap notepads. See, we were trying to use up all our scraps. And we just put things we thought would look nice together. Now that you're outed, you'll go back to the balcony. Okay. Well, thank you again, Teresa. And thank you for being willing to out yourself. I made a bunch of those. And I like the way they're layered. See, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm thinking, just even remembering that I did it should remind me to do it again, but I haven't even made any of these since then. Brittany says, I like making things for journals more than I like making journals. Well, I like making things for journals and I like making journals. I just don't ever journal in them once I've made them. So I think I should call it making books instead of making journals. Although somebody else could journal in them. But the point of this is so you can see all these different papers, you know. Oh, and we made some smaller ones. You can't show off those papers as easily as the big ones do. I made a bunch of these. Well, mask making is something I rarely ever do, except when we were doing this particular project. I did it and I enjoyed it. But, oh, there's another one. But evidently I'm not very good at mask using. There's this one like this. We made 3 of those. Okay, let's see if we can get all these back in here. I know I had to turn them back and forth because the ends are too, I can't believe I got all those to actually go in there. They just barely fit, but they do fit. Okay, well, there's one box. Half of my journal pantry. Okay, let's see. First, I'm going to see how many of these boxes are actually empty. I don't think any of these are actually empty, but some of them just have, like these 3, don't have a whole lot in them. This one has some little punch outs to make flowers. And then here's these. These were also a Happy Mail thing. And I put them in here because I thought if I put them in here, they will get used. Evidently, that was not true. And here's just some fussy cut birds. I have a million more birds now, but they're not in anything. And here's mushrooms. Yeah, it's my journal pantry tour. And here's a bunch of butterflies. Now, the ones that were punches, there were a whole bunch of the same size. I put them in baggies so they'd be easy to tell from everything else. This is a punch. The rest of these are fussy cuts. Here's words. So see, we were just building up all kinds of things that we could use. That one's not even words, but it's a good background for words. Good night, pressure. Okay, take a break. Whimsical and bold. Our philosophy, to inspire the love of home and enrich the lives of those around us. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, it's just stuff out of magazines. Oh, good, Julie. I haven't. I haven't put out anything. I asked Candy if she wanted to. She said, Mom, we're going to be doing good just to get things cleaned up around here and have food for Christmas when TJ comes. So she didn't care about decorating. Here's words off out of books that I just put on, actually on paper. And some of them are on pieces like this. He had started to paint on the walls, then on the cupboards and chairs and tables, and on the white lace curtains until his mother began to shout. But after a while, a little crack of light appeared. So who knows what inspired me to choose some of these things. We're just pulling them out of books. The highly painted wagons with their mysterious contents, and the cunning fairy ponies with their little fluffy manes and flossy tails. In full color. Now to make a journal from the pantry. Exactly. That's what I need to do next. And which is what made me pull all this stuff out, was thinking about that I needed to do that. And these are just words that we stamped on. Stamped it on a bunch of different things. This is tea bag. And here's another one. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. Gratitude. See, I put some of it on my marbled paper. Yep. Yippee? Yep. That looks like an I used as an exclamation point. I don't know what made me do that. Inspire. Thank you. I know, right? Okay. In between autocorrect and fat fingers, it's a wonder any of us make any sense. Yeah. I can see a journal challenge coming. Grab the boxes and use the items. Yep. And this is on fabric. So it's the same kind of thing. Dream, inspire, live simply, expect little, give much, and love extravagantly. Inspire. Let it go. Oh, I tell you, if that movie came out, my kids hated me because when they were getting mad at each other, I'd say, let it go, let it go. And they did not like that at all. Here's happy and gratitude. So the same things that I did in the other one. Let it be. Didn't do as many of those. Okay. And then this is numbers. Tons and tons and tons of numbers. And I love using numbers, but I forget I have numbers in here. All kinds of numbers. I pulled out all the number stamps I had, and I just used them on all kinds of scraps of paper. And here are some backgrounds for journal cards. And I can tell I was using the things that I don't particularly use very often because there's a lot of pink in there. And that's coming apart. But I used scrapbook paper that I don't really care for. I do not have them marked. I don't, Barbara. Hi, Dana. So glad you're here. I'm looking back through all the junk all the things, the beautiful things that we made when we were building our journal pantry. Just backgrounds for journal cards. That's Braille paper. Here's more, because that wasn't enough. These are more like me. These are more like the things I like. I don't, this is just made out of masterboards. This with wallpaper. Most of this is wallpaper and maps. And some jelly prints. We just made really big pieces, then cut them up and rounded the corners. I know some of you made a lot of these things along with us. You could make a little journal out of those. That's right. Just do a ring, maybe a ring binding. Or you could do them like this and bind them with that is it slip knot binding? I can't remember what the single page binding. These are some tags that don't have any words on them, but they're basically ready to go. See, I love these. I would use these in any journal I make right now, but I forgot I had them. And these we stitched on cards. See, I did a little crochet thingy there. So we were just coming up with things that, you know, that we could use up our scraps and make stuff that would go in journals. And okay, here are some tags made out of a thin masterboard. We just made the little masterboard, then we punched them out. So they're itty bitties, itty bitties. So those are really fun too. See, I'm finding all kinds of things I totally forgot I even had. Pull out the journals you've already made and pop them in. Yeah. And this is just things I thought might be fun to collage with. Or these might have been for color inspiration. I can't remember. I think these were for color inspiration for color palettes. Anyway. And these. Wow. Okay, just a second. I used my tiny attacher, and this is really too fat for a tiny attacher. These are collage pads with things that will go together to make a good collage. So you could just stick one in a journal, and then when you wanted to make, collage, you just pull stuff out of this and use it in that journal. That's what these were for. So there's all kinds of stuff in here just to make collages with. Here's a little one. Oops, that piece came out. I just put a little bit of everything in those. Just things you might want while you're working in a journal. Yeah, little clips would work better than that tiny attacher. I probably just had it sitting there, and that's why I used it, but I just was putting too much stuff in here for what it would really, really work well for. See, this is a DigiPrint, so it's just a wallpaper, jelly prints. And they're all similar. There's another Digi wallpaper. It's a copy of a ledger. There are pretty papers there. They need to be used. See, we could get out our scraps and make some more of these. Would we use them after we got them made? I don't know. I don't know, but they're fun. These would be fun things to swap. Just make some little pieces like this, bits like this, and swap them. Then everybody would get everybody else's scraps. That would be a fun swap to do. A scrap swap. Ooh, can you see the glitter on that one? Just got a couple more. A lot of these kind of have the same papers in them. And I made them the size based on this little box, because I figured anything that would, if it was bigger than this box, most of my journals it wouldn't work well in anyway. So Yes, you do, Julie. You have gorgeous papers because I've seen them. And what's this? This may be more of the same. I don't know. Oh, yeah. See, this is more of the same. Yeah, I really had fun with this one. When I make 2 boxes of something, I was having fun. Plus, I had a ton of scraps. These are different papers than what were in. 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So I don't guess I need to show you all of these, but um, they do have a little bit different papers in them. This one has, a butterfly, dictionary page, music paper. So I added in more of this kind of thing in this batch. Some of my pretend eco printing. Oh, I understand. It would be a fun swap, wouldn't it, Brittany? I've got so many things that I need to mail out that I already owe people. But I could just I could use some of these to stick in the swap, and then I could do a swap without any trouble. Here's a little one for a little journal. Here's another little one. So you can tell I did these in 2 batches because these are, different from the other ones, but they're all like each other. Kelsey's sleeping on me, and I coughed and scared her, and she woke up crying. Oh, poor sweetie. Oh. That's birds. Some little ephemera piece. Oh, this one um, I cut that little thing out to go with this picture, and so I just paper clipped it to that one. I was going, why do I have a paper clip on this one? The rest of them are all stapled. Because I thought that needed to go with it. And this is the last one of these. Alrighty. That may be the end of my journal pantry. I think it is. Yep. So now you know what's in my journal pantry. Yes. Love the mommies with the little bitties. That's such a precious time. Such a precious time. It goes by so fast. Okay. She gets lots of compliments. I bet she does. I remember when Ethan was little, every time we went shopping, people were always commenting on his hair. And they would say, "Where did you get that red hair?" And when he was little, I taught him to say, "God gave it to me." So he would say, "God gave it to me. God gave it to me." He got so tired of that. Finally, he just started pointing up. He would just point up to the sky because he didn't want to say, "God gave it to me" anymore. But if Darren was with us, Darren would say, he took my hair." Yeah, I thought it was so funny when he quit talking about it, quit saying, "God gave it to me," and started just pointing up. Oh, he's like, "Yeah, that's a lot easier." That's a lot easier. Okay, I got something else I wanted to show y'all. Um, because, having this stash of stuff is not enough. This is what I did over the weekend. And now I'll tell you why I did this. Because I don't know how many of y'all are watching, but probably most of you are. Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel are doing Defimmarimber. And one of the things that Louisa used, I think Barbara used them too, maybe. I'm not sure. But was these what Louisa has in her shop, and she calls them lazy masterboards. And I thought how neat those were because they're a starting of something, but they're plain. And I decided I wanted to make some like them myself. And she just drew on them to make it look like kind of like stitching. Now, this one I think probably really was stitched because you can see there are some sticks stitched down. So this one maybe really was stitched, but I thought how fun it would be to make these. And then I started playing with them and realized I couldn't get anything to look quite like this. And a lot of it's because this is fabric. This is actually done with fabric. So now I got a whole nother thing I got to go do. But this is paper and stitching. Anyway, I decided one of the things I liked about them was you can build them up with whatever you want instead of it being mostly finished. Most of the masterboards we make, they have like 5 layers of things on them. Yeah, these are her freebies. Um, some of the freebies that she was giving away on one of the days when she was making one of her prompts, she gave these away as freebies, and I printed them off. First of all, I want to see if my printer would print edge to edge, and it does, which is cool. I've never had one that would do that before. Secondly, I was wanting to see how good it would print, and I've never been real happy with my color prints, and it's because I never went in and changed the definition. So these are printed at high definition. And so they're gorgeous. But coffee dyed paper would be good to use for that. So I went in and I made me some. Well, first I tore up a million things. And try to ignore the marks on this because they don't make me happy. But I was trying out something, and you got to try things before you find out what you like. But I do like the idea of the masterboard that's it's a background, but that's it. And then you come in and add to it later. And I thought it would be fun. I had these paper towels where I had dried up ink and stuff. And so I took those apart so they were one layer, and I tore them up and glued them down. And here I really liked the way this pen did. I didn't like it on this as good. But it's this elegant writer. And you draw on it, and then you come back over it with water, and it bleeds out. Of course, it bled out really pretty on the paper towel. Yeah, I don't have any stitch stamps, but that would be awesome to use stitch stamps. But it didn't work quite as well on this. So I may take my a black pen and just go over it because that's what I did with this one, was just use a black pen. And it's just lightly there, and I like that one better. And I decided to make some out of security envelopes. And this was done with all the blue security envelopes I had. And then I used a brush pen to make my marks. And because I was looking for this look, I wasn't really happy with this. But I think I would like it fine if I hadn't been looking for that other look. Does that make sense? If I was just playing around and did it, I would like it. But I've also got a stack of black different prints of security envelopes and one of gray. But these were the ones I made last night. But this one I think is my favorite because it just turned out really cool. I just glued them on copy paper. So nothing special. If you want them, to be thicker, you could glue them on cardstock or something. But I just used copy paper because I had it sitting right there beside me. And this is from my bank, Amarillo National. And I thought, well, it's blue and it's unique, so I put it on there. Anyway, these were a lot of fun. And I think I want to make some that are more plain than these. Adding in the map paper and the music paper was fun, and I like it. And I like adding in the jelly prints. But I didn't make one that was plain. And I think the plainness is one of the things I liked about this. Now, I do want to make one with fabric. After figuring out that this is fabric, after I figured out this was fabric, I was like, oh, I want to make one with fabric. But I didn't figure that out until I was looking at it again last night before I went to bed. Anyway, I thought it might be fun to make one and make it that's more plain than this, just with the coffee dyed papers and the avocado dyed papers and that kind of thing. Does that sound like something y'all want to do? Tissue paper would be fun. Tissue paper would be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of, I don't have tissue paper just right here handy. I've got some out in the studio. I'm just not sure exactly where it is, but I've already got these things cut up. So this is what we're going to use, because I spent hours cutting those up, tearing them up. It was good. It was good mental therapy for me to cut those up. So stained tea bags, yes, and I didn't put any of those in there, but I do have them. I'm trying to pull out. Those have some paint and stuff on them, but they're still plain enough. I think they'll work. Those have lines, but and these have a little bit of paint on them too, but they're still mostly plain. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, there's some of Tanya's Eco Print paper. There's some of that. We may have... See, I've got a whole bunch of these, but some of them may be kind of duplicates. I'm not sure. Oh, here's the tea paper. Okay. And that really is just plain manila colored paper, or off-white. It's not quite white. Okay. Yeah, why not? Let's think about I don't know if I want to put this purple in there or not. This is some paper I got as, what do you call that? Just packing paper that came in a package. but it was purple. It looks bluer on the screen. It's really a little bit purpley here. But there is that big of a contrast between those two colors. But we've got tea bags, and I'm not sure if I want to use these because the texture is different. But I might. Well, my mail just came. See, we got so many choices. I don't know. But you don't want to use like one of everything because you want to have some repeats. Some of these are coffee dyed on thicker paper, and then these are coffee dyed on thinner paper. And this is the one where when I was playing with those stamps I got from PM Artist Studio, these are the papers I printed those on. So I may take that one away because it's not plain. And this one is ledger paper, an old antique ledger. So I'm going to take those two away because I'm wanting to do stuff that's pretty plain. I think I'll take that one away because it's most of the papers in there have print. Oh, I really think this doesn't go with these. What do y'all think? Should I leave it out and use it, or should I take it away? I gotta whittle down some of them. Keep it and use it, or take it away. Tell me what you think. It stands out for sure. It does, and I think I'm going to take it away for that reason. Okay, now I have 4 bundles that are these two I think are actually the same. I just had too much of them. So, and these are 3 different kinds of paper, but basically they look the same. So I'm going to take that one away because I don't have as many of it. And okay, this is coffee dyed. I have a bunch of coffee dyed things. See, I've got these, but they do look different from these. I'm going to take those away because they're boring. I don't know why I even did them because the paper was in with the other stuff. One of the new artists at this year's Artisan Fair was making backgrounds with tea bags glued to the page behind her illustration, then fine drawings of birds. Ooh, I bet that was pretty. Okay, I know we want this and this, and we'll do the tea bags and this, and this. And I don't think I want to mess with that. I would rather use these. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do those. Okay. 8 ought to be plenty. Okay. Now then, when I did, sorry, let me do that. When I did this one, I started in one corner and tried to work my way across. And I did the same thing with this one. But when I did this one, I did each corner and worked my way in. And I think that this one turned out better. So that's the way I'm going to do it. That's the way I'm going to do this one. And I'm just going to use a glue stick and grab something. And then I'm going to put them over here. And when I use them, I'm going to put them over there. And that way I can go through and oh, I should. No, I'm not going to worry about it. I was going to say I should ink them, but I think I didn't ink these, but I did ink these, and I think I like this better, which is kind of a surprise, but anyway, we're going to go with it anyway. I'm actually going to work from the corners in. Just because I liked the way it looked when I was finished better. It looked more random than when I started in one corner and went across. Yes, this would be a great way to use those. It would for sure. And you could just grab your scrap bag and use, whatever scraps you have. But I just took pieces, and some of them were scraps and some of them weren't. Sparrow saw a kitty or a squirrel or a bird. So he saw something. Oh, I need to put this over here now. See, my plan's not, it doesn't work if you don't actually do it. And I'm not doing this as much to for placement as I am to make sure I get kind of the same amount of each one on the page. Yes, using the scrap should be your first go. Yeah. And because of the size of these papers, a lot of them you could do with scraps pretty easy. Well, wow, I'm totally missing that end. Here we go. Okay, the only thing I haven't done is tea bag. I better take this off because I'm just going to end up ripping them if I don't. Okay. Now we'll go back this other direction. Well, I guess we have to start with the same one we started with last time. Oops. I want it to cover up the edge up there at the top. Okay. And I'm trying to, go different places from where I had stuff. Like that one's here, so I'm putting it up here. That way I can kind of go around and okay. This one has a tear in it, but I don't think that'll be an issue. And you can tear, um, tear them and make the pieces smaller like this. Some of them I tore smaller and when I was doing the other ones, and some of them I mean when I was tearing them, I tore some of them smaller, and some of them I tore smaller when I was putting them on there because I needed a smaller piece. Okay, Becky, thanks for coming in. Alrighty. I guess that is this one, even though it doesn't really look much like that. Let's just go ahead and do that one because it does look like it. Okay, let's do that. Do that. Okay, which side do I want? Yeah. Sometimes they look better on one side than the other, and sometimes it really doesn't matter. I'm getting glue everywhere. Getting glue everywhere. Okay. Let's do another tea bag. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to put the glue on the paper this time because I really did make a mess with the tea bag last time. Okay. Alrighty. We'll ink around it, and that'll be all right. Actually, I may take a little bit more and do that. Come on. All right. Okay. And I think I'm going to put a little piece of tea bag right down here. Um, just so I can have 3 on there. Okay. Gonna use a little bit more of this blue. And we're gonna do a small piece to go right here. And I was tearing all these things up, and Hannah was like, "Oh, that's going to be fun to play with." She said, "How many of those are you going to make?" Because that's a lot of paper. And I was like, "You're right, it is. It's a lot of paper." Oh, dear. Okay, I'm trying to see what I'm going to... Now, some of these are going to be kind of overlapping each other more now, because my spaces are smaller. See, like that right there. I think I'm going to use that piece. Oh, scooch it up a little bit. There we go. And encroach on the space a little bit. And let's put another one of these. Thanks, Julie. I think it is. And it's, you know, the hardest part is deciding what papers you're going to use and cutting them all up, you know, tearing them all up. I'm going to use a little bit of this one because it's also pretty distinctive. That's funny because I thought I was using a bunch of plain paper, but it's not looking very plain at the moment. Let's use another one of these coffee dyed spotty pieces. And I think, just for looks, I'm going to put one up here too. Now, right down here, I'm going to put some of this. Do I have a long one? There we go. That looks pretty good. Trying to decide if I need to add anything else. I think I have a couple of little pieces of this pink. Oh, there's actually 3, so. This is where I need something, but that looks good right there. So we're going to go ahead and put it there. We'll find something else to go here. What would go good there? Another piece of that, maybe. Or some more of this. Let's do some with the green. Y'all see any place else that needs something, something? Do you see any place else? I'm going to put this right there. Just because why not? We only had 2. Oh, we had 3 tea bags. Anyway, oh well. It's all right. Okay. Now what? Let me clean this up a little bit. The glue stick's getting goopy. Well, not goopy, dirty. Okay. There we go. So what do you think? Yeah, I'm glad I added that piece because this one doesn't have the green showing and the other 3 do. So do y'all see any place that you think I should add something else? I think it looks nice like that. I do feel some glue on it still, so I don't want to try to do any mark making at the moment. But I thought it might be fun to do something different. What's this? I've got this little flower. You can't see that. I'm too far away. I thought it might be fun to put some little flowers on there. I also have, I think I have another one. Let's see what's, yeah, this one's a heart. I think the heart's a little bit bolder, and so I think I like the flower better. But watching Louisa use those lazy master boards. That's what she calls this set in her shop. You can buy, there's like 50 different ones in that printable, and it's $10. But if you one of her Defemarimber videos, or maybe it's one of Barbara's, I'm not sure. One of them has a 30% off coupon, I think, code that where you could get 30% off of this bundle. And for 50 different papers, that's a really good deal. Um, but it just made me want to make my own. So I didn't go buy it. I just took the free ones. I did buy one of each of their deals for Defemarimber with little Effie, just because I liked the mushrooms and I thought they were really pretty. Now that I know I actually can print on my ink printer, I can print color prints. I bought some of those. Where are those? Let me show you. Okay. Um, Now this one is not Defemarimber. Actually, this is Mushroom Garden. But these were some, and I can't remember if these were freebies or if this was one I bought from her. And this is a freebie from Defemarimber. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is also a Defemarimber freebie from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. So if you're watching her Defemarimbers, go ahead and go get those. This is one of the freebies from Louisa. And I loved that door. And so I went ahead and got it too. And then that was something else I was doing. But anyway, the freebies are really pretty this year. So at least go get the freebies. And they're things you wouldn't have to use at Christmas at all, which is one of the nice things about them because you can use them anytime. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some little flowers. And I think I'm going to do flowers on joins. But I think that's looking pretty good. So let's just keep doing some more of those. And I got this little, it's a tattoo pen in the makeup department at Dollar Tree. It's hard to decide where all to put them. I kind of get going and then I end up overdoing it. I have More of the ones with 5 down at the bottom. Sometimes it helps to look in the camera and... Oh! Well, I messed that one up. Am I overdoing it? I don't want to overdo it, but I also want there to be enough, because you're going to, these are things you cut up smaller. So what do you think? Are you still here? Are you still with me? Next Monday, we'll make a journal, or I'll find one that I've already got made, one or the other, and we will fill it up with stuff out of my box. Okay. Julie's here, and Barbara likes it. Julie thinks it looks good, so I tend to overdo, and I'm going to try not to overdo, so I'm going to stop right there, because I do have a tendency to overdo things. Anyway, I really like that idea, and and then when you cut these up to make things out of them, you can add anything you want. So I think that they're more adaptable to whatever you're doing. That one goes like this, and I don't. Let's just see if we can just use a black pen and I don't know if I can make this look better, or if it's just going to be how it is. But I thought if I could go back over the line, and make it look like that stuff's bleeding out from the black line, if it might look better. I don't know if that really helps or not, but it's not hurting. I didn't use a ruler when I was putting these lines on here. I just used the pen, but I don't know if this helps it any or not, but you know, most of it can be covered up. After I get finished, you can tell me what you think. I think I may have done that one already, but it just didn't really look like it. Okay, I think that actually does look a little bit better. What do you think? Anyway, like I said, it'll be in the background, so it probably will be fine. Even if it makes me fret a little bit. It'll be usable. And then there's that one. But this one, I really love that one. So this one, I don't know. And I don't know if it's because I'm just really not as much of a blue person, or if there weren't very many. You know, there were only five different kinds of papers. But I'm more into vintagey stuff, although I do like the watercolor look. So it may just be that the reason I did the blue first was because I thought it was the one I would like the least. So if I messed it up, it was the big deal. Okay, mine are going to be torn with my handmade tear ruler, and the untorn edges will be cut with the deckle edge scissors. That's great. I used my handmade tear ruler too. That's what I tore everything with, was this ruler right here. And most of you probably know this, but I do have a video in my DIY supplies playlist about making your own tear ruler. Julie feels the same way about the blue one. Yeah, it may never get used. It may never get used. But and Barbara likes the watercolor one. Yeah, I really do like the watercolor one. And I liked it before, but adding that Elegant Rider on there, that really enhanced it. It kind of pulled it together, I guess. So of all of them, this is probably the one I'm least likely to use. So, but that was fun. But I wanted to show you, you know, my inspiration. And while I don't think these are as pretty as the inspiration pieces, a lot of it's because I want to try the fabric. And it looks like there's paper underneath. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks like there's paper underneath this fabric. So like maybe a jelly print and put fabric over the top of it or something would be fun. I don't know. If it was not as late as it is right now, I would try to find some fabric and do that, but we'll do that another day. I'm going to put all these back in my box. My box of mini scraps. So we could do 500 more of these if we want to. But I would start with coffee dyed papers and jelly prints. I think those are fun. Now, if you have, you know, paper towels, you pretty watercolored paper towels you don't know what to do with, do one of these too, because that's a lot of fun. And they glue down real easy because they're, but you do have to put the, who that, did she do a video making it? I don't know. I was going to look for that. She has a video using it, but I don't know if she has a video on making them. I haven't looked. That's something I was wanting to do, but I hadn't had the chance yet, and it was I got tired and wanted to go to bed last night, so I never did go look to see if I could find that. Um, anyway, some of you weren't here at the beginning, so I'm gonna do my show and tell real quick again. This is a scarf I wove for my friend out of what I called quilt scrap yarn, which is where you just take a bunch of different fibers and you spin them one after the other into a and I did two bobbins full of that and then plied them together. Um so all of these have two yarns, different scraps that were put together, and they just happen to all look, like they belong together really well. But anyway, this is a scarf I made for my friend Penny. She's also one of Darren's cousins, but she's been my friend as long as I can remember. And I've got to put another one on the loom that's going to be pink and black for my sister friend Darla. Um, I got to get that done because I've been promising it to her for a couple of years and I haven't done it yet. Let me go get that yarn so you can see what hers is going to look like. It's going to be kind of a plaid type thing with this black and this pink. And this pink is, it has, if you can see, it has different pinks in it, which will make it fun. But I spun these up a couple of years ago, and then I still haven't made the scarf with it because I had something on the loom. I finally just took it off the loom, but um, anyway, this is going to be Darla's scarf if I can get it done. So um, these yarns were spun after I got used to spinning on my electric spinner, so they actually are better yarn um, as far as how I spun it than this. But this turned out really good, considering these were not plied tight enough, and these are plied nicely. So I think this scarf will look more. It'll look more better, but Penny will like this one because she likes the same kind of vintagey stuff that I like. So it'll be done in good time. There you go. And the other thing I was going to show y'all is this is my and it's brighter green in real life than it is in the camera. Let me see if I can change the light and see if it'll. Well, okay, that's more real. That's more real. It's still brighter than this, but that looks more like it. This is the yarn that I made a bat, and I said I was going to make 16 bats and spin it into 8 skeins to crochet me a sweater. And I made it out of all kinds of different stuff. I've got a video when I made that bat. But this is I took little pieces off the bat and made me a sample. And this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted some different colors to pop out and for it not to just be green. And but this one, it was not. The 2-ply was still thinner than I want. I really wanted a thicker yarn, so I've done one. Okay, see, now that one does not look as green. Well, that's the best we're going to do. Um, anyway, so I made a thicker yarn this time. This is just the first bobbin. So I've got to do more, a bunch more bobbins and ply them together to make the yarn for my sweater. But I think it's going to be fun. It's fun to spin because all these things pop up, but it's also going to be fun to crochet for the same reason. And I think it'll be pretty. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. It's going to be a long process getting that done. So um but I got to go put the puppy in, and I was supposed to have done that 30 minutes ago. He'll survive. It's not a big deal. It's not that cold outside, um but he's used to being in 30 minutes before now. So um anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. I love you and thank you. And hopefully, Tanya and I will be able to stream on Thursday. I don't know for sure if it'll be my channel or hers, but it will be at 1 o'clock on Thursday. So um, if you don't get a notification at 1 o'clock, come looking for us, either on her channel or mine. Um, anyway, love you all. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.